A select all method is the fastest way to break your Power Query. When you use it to replace errors, you're hard coding every column name into your script, creating a time bomb that explodes. A second, the header is renamed or columns removed. I did this and spent way too much time fixing column not found errors because I took the shortcut. But I figured out a fix on how to do this automatically. Today, I'm showing you how to use Table.ColumnNames and List.Transform features to dynamically be your cleaning engine that adapts to your data real time. Let's get started. So let's remove some errors in our source data. So for example, I've got these errors here. These are NA errors that are coming in from a source table. If this is something that is a small table, you should probably just do it in Excel. But if this is something that's coming from a larger table and it occurs frequently, you give it to stakeholders and there's columns being removed or added, this is where Power Query comes in handy. So let's bring this into Power Query. Go to Data, from Table and Range, and Excel is going to be smart enough to figure out where my range of data is. This is my table of headers. Yes, click OK, and it's going to create the table and bring it into the Power Query editor. Now, when it's in the Power Query editor, you may think, oh, it's going to be pretty easy to replace those NA errors. And for the most part, it is, because all I need to do is, let me expand this a little bit, select here, press the Shift key, and go over here so I can select all the columns. See these errors? All I need to do is go into Transform, go to Replace Values, Replace with Errors, and whenever it sees an error, we'll just put something like null. Just some text in there, click OK, and everything turns into a null. Now this should all be fine because once you click Close and Load, it's going to bring it into another sheet and you have no data, these blanks. But the problem occurs when you delete a column. And if this was a one-off where you're replacing errors, that's fine. But the problem occurs when you have instances where you remove or add columns and it becomes more dynamic. And one thing to think about, let me bring up the query again, double click to bring up the query, is when we did the remove errors and replace it with nulls, look at what it did here. This is the replace error step. And take a look at this. Put a pin in this because we've got our date, null, item, null. These are the column fields. And you see this null keyword, null keyword. And so this is the step. When you see the column date, if you see any errors, put a null there. And so think about this. And this is a 2-item array or list. Close this. We'll go back into sheet 1. I'll remove this column. Right click, delete. And if I try to refresh this, let's right click, refresh here. We're going to see what happens. It can't find it because it's hard coded the column name warehouse. How do we fix this? Well, we're going to do something different. Click OK. I'm going to double click here to go back. Let's go back into my query. Let's remove this step. And we're going to go into the M code a little bit. Not too scary, but let's give it a try. Let's remove this change type. Power Query sometimes put this in as a step. It changes the type, the data types here. Let me remove this. We don't really need that for now. But we'll use the M code for that. Click FX here. So right now it's referencing source. It's referencing our previous step. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap that in another M code function called Table.ColumnNames. Click that. Oh, it made it disappear? Well, it's okay. I'm going to add it back in. Type source. Let's see if it looks for it. Yep, right there. Click on my check mark here to execute it. And this is what it gives me. It gives me a list of the column names. So that's what it does. It's like a date, item, quantity. So I got to wrap this into another M code function. It's called List.Transform. But sometimes when you do that, it overwrites it. So I'm going to copy this, Control C to copy. And let's see if it still takes it. If I do it List.Transform, select on that, and it did it. Overwrote it. So let's bring that back in. Control V to paste what I had earlier. And I got to put that in quotes. In parentheses. And comma, because it takes 2 arguments. First, my list, which is this, that came from the table column source, and the transform function. So what the list transform does is it takes those column names and turns it into a list. So I'm going to take the keyword is each. So with each, we're going to put in the curly brackets and underscore, comma, and then null. What this does is it iterates over each item in the list. And that underscore references the column name, date, item, quantity, etc. And it also puts in the null word. So it's going to create a list, date, comma, null, item, comma, null, etc. Now, if you remember when I had mentioned earlier that particular replace error function previously that worked, there was two items, right? There was a date comma null, item comma null. This is what it's doing, but it's making it dynamic. So click on my check mark to execute that. Let's see if it worked. And it didn't because it was expecting a closing parentheses. Let's close that and click our check mark again. And this is what it did. So we have a list here. So if we click through this, you're going to have our column name and then the null, right? So we have date null, item null, quantity null, and it goes down the list. Now we got to make this into a comma separated list. And that's going to be an additional M code. So click on this. Instead of custom, we're going to have table replace error values. So table, let's see, replace. We'll do dot replace. Let's see if we can find it. Replace error values, this one. And open parentheses. What are we going to replace? We're going to replace our source. That was our original data up here. But so we did some of the modification of turning that source table into a list. We're going to reference custom one here. So let's do custom one, which is this one. So let's click the check mark. And again, it gave an error because it auto-completed it, but it put it in twice table here. So I'm going to remove that. Click on the check mark again. And now we have our nulls here. So if I click close and load, it's going to reference it here. It looks the same. Let's go back into my source sheet here and we'll create another column. Let's put insert column. I deleted the warehouse column earlier, but let's put some dummy data into this warehouse column, right? We'll just call this warehouse ABC for everything. ABC, control enter to put that into everything. And if I go back to table one, I can just right click refresh or just right click refresh here. Click on refresh and it automatically put that in there. So if I had other null data, let's say, for example, control C to copy, let's put null data in here or in here. And we refreshed again, right click refresh, you'll see that it disappeared there. So if you're doing this just once, you probably don't need to go through this step. But if this is something that you did occasionally and you also gave this to folks and they could update the column names, whatnot, it's probably better to have it more dynamic where you're replacing these errors. And that's the way we can do it with some M code. Building a select all query is building a brittle query. By switching to this dynamic M code, you're creating systems that can survive real-world data messes without needing a manual fix every time. Try implementing this in your scripts today. If you like this tip, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe.